Hey, Rabbit.
I want to go around and I want you to tell me a little bit of your character's appearance, personality,
Oh boy.
things that they enjoy, events that they enjoyed, things like that. Just a little recap to put us all in the right mental state.
Who wants to
Likes
go
and
first?
dislikes.
Ramsey enjoys nothing.
I'll go first. I have my stuff right in front of me here. Gorik Kielsen. Well, I suppose I'll start with appearance. He's I'm gonna retcon a little bit. He's 2'6", not 3 foot tall, just so everyone knows.
Even shorter.
He has. I'm sorry. Yeah, because he has dwarfism. Remember. He has a basically darker clothing, unassuming clothing. For the most part, it started out that way. He has a black cloak and kind of brownish pants and whatnot. He's since gotten studded leather armor, which he's technically has yet to get, but he's going to have studded leather armor and affix 2 of the copper dragon scales as pauldrons, because he's tiny
They're
boy.
big.
Yeah, they're probably
So
big
they
enough
fit.
on him. That's
Yep.
cool. Yeah.
So there, that, and then I believe at some point I was given a mark of Lathander of some kind, and I can't remember what form that took. I think you gave it to
there
me.
was a pendant.
A pendant of Lathander? I thought it might have been. So he's got a pendant.
I think you got it during the Miss Mary stuff. Can't remember.
So I have a pendant of Lathander along with that. On the back of his neck, he has the sigil that Peppa, wrong campaign, that Jumper basically carved in the back of his neck, and kind of unassuming, shorter brown cropped hair. He's got a scar on his left arm where an axe almost clove his arm off, and a scar on his mouth where he face planted with a dagger in his mouth. That did happen.
One of your best moments.
Yeah.
His character has changed quite a bit as time has gone on. He used to be more happy-go-lucky, but also more like easy to frazzle or easy to anger almost in a way, because you could mention his height and he'd get pissed. What happened?
Did he have a short fuse?
He did have a short fuse.
He had a pretty short fuse, yeah. Yeah.
With what happened with the slave owner that shall not be named, basically his mentality has changed a lot. What he values has changed a lot. He values protection of the weak and justice and vengeance for those who have who've preyed on the weak. That's all I'm going to go into that, though, because I could go farther, and I won't. The pendant is tucked in his clothing, along with a guard seal of Burgess right next to it as well.
His little collection. He's getting badges.
He has a pocket right here in which there is one single lavender-smelling used to gold piece right over his heart.
Beautiful.
Let's cut them a little bit short so we have more time to yell at each other.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I guess I'll go next. Yeah, so Rin is a pretty young, naive-looking, like 5'11", 145 half-elf, a half-drow even. So he's fairly thin. He wears like sort of a form-fitting, violet-colored bardic tunic with like belts that go around his torso. I've described it as leather armor, but it's like just a bunch of belts and pouches and stuff that sort of surround him. He carries a bunch of incense on him, and he's got like little mouse that hangs out in his pocket. Her name is Magnolia. His skin is sort of like off charcoal. It's almost reddish because it's sort of got the tinges of human colored or human Caucasian skin rather. He carries his bardic instrument. It's like a, I think I described it as mahogany wood. Like it's like a dark color with like a black leather stretched over it. It's a drum. And then he, under the hood of his tunic, he always wears like a kitsune Japanese fox style mask. I think the easiest way to describe him is like an elvish Anbu Black Ops member from Naruto. It's basically like that pretty much captures his look.
We make fun of you for that every
I know.
campaign, and now you've ended up with a Naruto
And now I
character.
literally made like a Naruto character. I didn't realize it until the other day, but when I was actually describing him for commission work, I realized that I basically just wrote like Kakashi with a bow.
Just a
in a lot of
Naruto
ways.
OC.
So yeah, it was an accidental Naruto OC, but yeah, he's
Don't steal.
yeah, for the most part, he's a happy-go-lucky guy with a chip on his shoulder. I think is really the best way of saying it. He's got a lot of really dark, traumatic themes in his past, but for the most part, he's a positive dude. Although by watching the episodes back, you wouldn't think that, because we've gone through a lot of dark stuff that he's been.
I'm
By watching this
sorry.
episode, you're not gonna think.
Oh
that.
yeah, this
Yeah,
episode's not gonna
this
be.
episode's not going to be a good example of him being that way, but hopefully I'll be able to bring it back soon. Overall,
Nope.
I think that's pretty much him. Yeah, he's a fun kid, I think.
He's a fun kid, I think.
I really had no better way of closing that one out. This is just like a tough
Yeah,
situation.
man, to each his own.
I guess I'll go next. Ramsey's kind of grungy looking scavenger bounty hunter guy. Wearing dark, like black leather that's like probably been super sun faded and worn out, almost looking like a brownish color at this point because of it's so old. Tons of weapons and pouches all stuffed everywhere on what he's wearing. Looks like he just pretty much packs up and goes from wherever with what he's got on him. Pretty gruff personality. Looks like he's kind of seen some shit. Do you want me to do like a quick summary of what's gone on with the character too?
Yeah.
Okay. Joined the party with the intention of collecting some bounties and was kind of dealing with an older issue that he couldn't sleep due to past trauma. And so he struck a deal with, in a moment of desperation, with God, apparently. Didn't know at the time it was God. Dendar, and to take away the nightmares and bad trauma. It worked, but also would have had to do the bidding of Dendar. So tried to get out of that deal, possibly successfully, not sure, but has been okay since, and is now attempting to deal with his new life of fighting these cultists, as the bounties didn't pan out to just be bounties. It seems like it's a much bigger situation. So he's currently has his mind on the bigger world as it is. Yeah. So it's very, I guess, still kind of has a pessimistic outlook on a lot of the world as it is. But
Understandable.
there you go.
All right, Sriracha is a very proud-looking person. He's got some super shiny armor on now that is comboed with a cape with the symbol of greenest on it. He's got a nice fancy shield with the religious symbol for Lathander on it, as well as the rising sun. And yeah, he just he's got long, flowy blonde hair, and he looks super like clean all the time, I guess. Not really a big fan of dirt. So far, he set off from his home to redeem his family name, and he quickly accomplished that. Didn't realize he'd be accomplishing that so soon, but then ran into a bigger problem, which is the cultists, and so now he's got to deal with that before he can deal with whatever else is on his plate.
So you guys have all had a fun time.
Yeah, I guess I should briefly
Fun.
note I didn't really get too much into what Rin like left for or what's gone on,
Yeah, you're fine.
but he just like super quick he left home looking for his parents, and now we're gonna pick up on that, I guess. Like wherever we decide to do with this, it sounds like he has run into one of them. So
Disneyland has been fun.
this is
Yeah.
going to be a nice hard
We're gonna-
open, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to scene. So we're coming off the screen. So thank you
Mhm.
everybody for quick recaps on your characters. We might do that every couple episodes just to see how you guys progress and
Oh, I have a massive scar on my back.
yes.
True.
It is no longer white, now it is copper.
Yes.
Yeah.
That reminds me, you take half damage from lightning. You have to
Yes.
add that to your sheet.
You already told me that, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do that.
I think you can add custom defenses.
It's complicated. I'll do it later.
So,
Fair enough.
on our last episode, well, our last couple episodes, Gork had, the entire party was following the cultists north. Gorik was approached by rangers that they had become acquainted with beforehand and addressed that the woman he sent south was having trouble getting south, so left with the rangers to go help escort her home. The party continued on following the cultists. They went past the haunted Dragonspear Castle. They passed through Daggerford, where the cultists made a pit stop, and quickly made their way to Waterdeep to warn the guards and the magistrate of the coming caravan, their contents, and the threat that it carries. After doing so, Rin begrudgingly showed them around town a little bit, trying to ward off going home just yet. He knows that he has sent his adoptive father a letter telling him that he was having fun, being safe, experiencing new life, and that everything was dandy. But in the back of his head, he knows that Kester sees and hears all and was probably going to be a little grounded. So eventually, he wound up with Ramsey and Sriracha at the door, and upon opening it, he found Kester standing behind the counter with a dark elf sitting in the corner. Now, Gorik,
Good.
you are traveling back north with the ranger party. You have safely dropped off Amber. You help them collect the drake eggs and the dragon eggs, deliver them to the copper dragons. You are now donned in studded leather armor that Amber bought you as a thank you when they got to Fizzleboro. And they are taking you on the cult path. They have side-skirted a very spoopy mansion. Very spoopy. All covered in mist. He told you it was not a good place to camp for the night. And they're continuing on through Daggerford. It's about midday. You guys are traveling down a path that's very well worn. It's one of the highways, but there are trees on both sides, and I'd like you to make a perception check.
15.
Okay, so you can't make it out very clearly, but as you're passing one of the little hideaways, it's a little bit thicker there in the bushes, you see violet through, like a violet lavender color. You can make a wisdom check if you want to see where you would have recognized that before.
Is that a perception check?
It would just be a wisdom to see where you would.
Understood. 15.
Looks remarkably like Jumper's skin tone.
Oh.
But there's some violet in the bush. You can see some fuzz and a black cape, kind of tucked up under the branches.
I'm gonna walk up to her.
Okay,
It's all
it is
good.
it is
Yep.
ground level and bushes.
Cool.
As you get closer, give me another. Are you like you're just going straight up to the bush?
Jumper, is that you?
There is no response.
I will cautiously approach.
Roll me an investigation check to see how much you see.
Ha! Nat 1.
Uh,
Lucky.
Brutal. Oh, yeah, you do have lucky. Yeah.
What kind of check? I'm sorry.
it would be investigation.
Investigation 14 then.
Okay. She's been in a fight. She's been in a hard fight. As you come across her, she is unconscious. She is
Oh.
bloody. One of her horns and ears are cleft away. You rolled the
Oh.
percentage dial.
Damn.
Oh dear.
It's your fault.
It's my
Your
fault.
It's literally
fault.
your fault.
If
100%.
any, for those at home who don't know, before we go into the game, I have them roll secret dice and don't tell them what it does.
Mhm. It's a lot of
Okay.
fun. It's
So,
like playing yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'll turn back to the party that I've since been traveling with the Drake cart, and say, like, lend me a hand over here, just a moment.
and so you got the brother-in-law of the ranger, because we're not giving them names.
Yeah.
He is driving the cart, and there's two of his work buddies. One of them jumps off and kind of comes over to you and goes, "The hell is that thing?" And he almost goes to like poke her with the end of his sword, just like.
I'll slap the sword out of the way. That's
you
a
know
comrade. She's a comrade of mine, eh? You won't be poking her with a sword. Does anyone know the healing arts?
As you say that, he takes it more seriously. He puts his sword away. He'll duck down and he'll like feel for a pulse, and he just looks really confused. Kind of like feeler, just like I kind of have to know what it is to know how to heal it.
Oof. Well, why don't you just bind up the wounds then?
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a medicine check for him.
Turn off the faucet, as it were.
He does a pretty good job at binding up anything that's still bleeding. She's still out cold, but from now, like when he's moving, he pulls like the cloak back so he can bind everything that's bleeding. She went through a rough fight. There are still some arrowheads that you can see she's like snapped off the shaft. She doesn't know how to remove them, so he goes through and does that for her. And she's got a couple arms in her cloak, and she's got some dragon daggers that she's been pulling with her.
Yep. All right. Help me put her onto the cart. She's gonna come with me.
He picks her up, and she looks incredibly heavy.
I'll help.
Even though she's like, so as you go to like help lift her, it's like this solid mass of dead weight.
Ugh.
She's dense as fuck.
Maybe she had an arm too many or something.
So they'll help you load her onto the cart. They get her in the back. He kind of like sets up one of their bedrolls so he can like lay her down and like puts her big cloak over her. He kind of looks at the arms and kind of like looks at you like, do I?
I'll leave them there. If she sees a mission, she might want yours.
He does not touch them.
Yeah.
He leaves them in the. He like awkwardly positions the cloak so it's over her, but also hiding the arms. Like he doesn't want to see it.
She's set up. Can I check my eggs at the same time? Make sure they're doing all right.
Yeah.
I do so.
Nature check.
Fucking all right. That is a 19.
So, let me check real quick. Where you are? You're at day.
Thank you.
So your red one
Hey.
is kind of twitching every now and again. It's very hot. but it feels like a good sign. The other one is more stable, not really shaking around too much, but you don't take that as a bad sign either. It just seems like the red one is closer to hatching than the other.
Can I rotate it around and see if it's sloshing or see
Yeah.
if it's a solid thing?
So when you go to do that, the other egg feels like there's still more embryo sac inside, like it's still developing. The other one is incredibly like solid when you pick
Right.
it up.
Right. Okay. That's what the books would say.
Yes.
Had said rather.
Yeah.
Shoot. We need to push on. This is I don't want what was hunting here to come for us. We need to get out of here and back on the path.
Are you staying inside the cart with Jumper, or are you riding on the outside of the cart?
Good question. I am going to. I'm sorry, I have to think about this. Fuck. No, I'm just gonna stand on top or sit on top of the cart, watching for any trouble, and as well listening to see if she wakes up or not.
Give a perception check. As you guys continue on, they do let you know that they're going to Daggerford. They should be there shortly.
It's a 7.
Okay. You can see that there is smoke coming from the direction that they told you Daggerford was in.
Oh. Uh-oh. Is that amount of smoke like typical for Daggerford, or is that like extra smoke?
None of the rangers respond to you, but they see they all look very on edge now. They
Yeah.
don't know how to respond to you, and they don't really know what's going on either.
Answer enough as far as I'm concerned. All right.
So, back in Kester's shop.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys walk in. Ramsey is pushing you in almost playfully, like, haha, you have to face Kester now. You guys walk in and you see behind the counter there is a very clean-shaven man. Ren, do you want to explain him? Because he's your dad, after all. Well,
Yeah, he's he's a little bit on the older side. I'd say, in terms of human years, he's probably getting towards mid-50s, somewhere in there. He's definitely weathered. He's seen his day. I picture him wearing pretty muted garb for the most part, really typical like civilian stuff. Nothing really out of the ordinary, but maybe a little bit more draped, as he's pretty familiar with the arcane arts and how they like to have their freedom of movement and whatnot.
floofy sleeves.
Yeah, he's probably got like medium length, sort of just brushed back hair. And generally speaking, he's a pretty warm looking person, I figure. He's definitely seen his day, but at this point, he's not really like, the way I picture it is that he's not wasting his time with petty things. It's really only like, all the crow's feet and stuff that he's got, that he's accumulated over time, just sort of leads into one of those sort of gentler faces that doesn't really offend.
Okay. And as you guys see him behind the counter, you see that he is wearing a very serious expression, and he glances to the corner of the room where at a table sits a dark elf. He has gray and white peppered hair. He is wearing very black clothing, very shadow clad. I will say that. He's got a belt across his chest with some throwing knives in it. He's got a dagger at his side. He's got a rapier at his side. He's got black boots, black pants, a very thin black cloak that's almost transparent. What is a little out of the color scheme is on his hip. He wears this tiny pink stretch of fabric that almost like glitters. And as you guys walk in, and there's a small exchange, just glances and like sudden realization, and the drow stands up almost so quickly that he knocks over the table and takes 4 giant strides straight towards Ren.
Yeah.
It was if you don't have a quick reaction, he's going to throw his arms around you.
He will bear himself larger. Essentially just fronting in that moment, like I'm not looking to throw my arms around anybody right now. Kind of on edge, basically.
Sriracha would probably.
Is that like an opposed dexterity check? Because
I mean, if you want.
Yeah, he's probably just going to destroy me on that one. He's a little more experienced an adventurer than I. Yeah, I mean, if he goes in for a hug, Rin's just going to stand there. I mean,
yeah,
it's just like sort of like letting it happen, but not reciprocating.
He doesn't even seem to respond to your coldness. But after a few moments, he does let go and like pull back with both his hands on your shoulder.
I'm pretty blank for the most part. I mean, at this point, it's more like just sort of a glower at him. Something more of a, like, you're in my space right now, basically. And like in this moment where I'm sort of just staring back at him blankly, I'm just going to say, Cass, I have a couple guesses, but really want you to be straight with me right now.
Kester, like, kind of shakes his head, doesn't really know how to respond, and the drow in front of you steps back, and he kind of looks back at Kester and then looks at you, and he's like, I probably should have expected that after 20 years.
I punch him in the face.
Roll the hit.
Fucking deserves it.
18.
Roll your damage.
Does 5 damage. It's just unarmed.
Well, I guess what's your what was your roll?
The roll was 14.
Oh no, your damage or just your unarmed.
It's just
unarmed is just 1 plus strength.
1 plus 4.
Okay, so then it would technically be 6 because he's not defending, right?
What?
If you're not
Wait, what?
defending, if you're actively not defending and you're gonna take a hit, then it's crit.
No.
I've never heard that before, but sure,
What?
if that's how you want it to go.
Yeah.
If anything, he wouldn't use uncanny dodge.
Yeah,
Okay.
But it's still 1.
I read
his unarmed
that's okay.
Maybe
Yeah, I mean,
not.
if
Unarmed
that's how you
strike
want it to be, that's fine.
is
Yeah.
only 1 damage because it's an unarmed fist.
Yeah.
Plus
Well,
1.
plus his mod makes it 5.
4.
You're
right.
saying he crits
So-
because he's not trying to take the hit, or
Because
because
it's
he's
just
trying to take
because
the
it's
hit?
just a clean hit.
Because
So
he's
it's
just
1
letting
plus
it
1
happen.
plus
Yeah.
mod.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was what I was
Sure.
saying.
I see. You can see that. Flat-footed AC almost.
Kind of, sort of.
I knew
I'm
that
probably
existed
gonna need
anymore.
to reread that
I know.
thing.
Rolling.
I looked up a lot of stuff on crits lately. Anyway,
I
Right,
heard
right.
it
No
as
worries
well.
about that.
Right.
I'm going to put my hand on Sriracha's shoulder, and not by any means force him out of the position that he's in. I'm not near strong enough to try to move that wall, but I'm going to leave my hand on him and just say, words are enough for this one. Got a lot to get through.
he's gonna stand up. He looks a little bewildered, but almost again accepting of the hit. And he kind of looks at Kester, and Kester's just like, "Well, he made some new friends."
I prestidigitation the blood off his face.
Not all his friends are like this, and I think that the night hit you out of love.
Most
So.
of my friends are like this.
Kester looks like really nervous, but
I mean, look
doesn't
at me.
counter.
So.
Yeah, doesn't
like-
counter the statement. That's what I wanted.
So where do we start? In a couple years. Anything you want to let me know about?
He does a thing where he like fixes his jaw up and he goes, "Well, after a hit like that, I figured I'd speak when spoken to."
I'd prefer it if it stayed that way.
He does not look pleased with that comment.
So, Castor, did he let you know he was going to show up?
Kester shakes his head no. But then he's like, maybe we should go into the kitchen and we'll sit down.
I flip the sign from open to closed.
Pull a Ramsey.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll oblige. That's fine.
The Drow and Kester both head back. The Drow walks before Kester. He does know the layout of the shop and home very well. He heads to the kitchen and he actually puts the kettle on for Kester while he grabs some cups because they view that this is going to be a long conversation.
I pull a bottle out of my bag that I've been saving for a while.
Huh. Looks like he's got the right idea.
I mutter something as father figure walks into the next room and casts healing word on him. He will get. I know that he only lost 5. I actually don't think my die roll matters. Yeah, he gets 6 health back.
Yeah.
Probably heard something to the degree. I'm sure he heard me.
Yeah.
It's something like straighten up or something along those lines of just like, I'm healing you here, but
I'm also snarky.
I need this front right now. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'll take a second, take a deep breath, look at the members of the party that are with me, and then I'll lead the way into the next room, usher them in as well.
As you come in, and the Dark Elf has put the kettle on, arranged some seats, and chosen to sit at the far end of the table so you guys can get to the closer chairs. And Kester kind of gestures to him and goes, well. And he, addresses the whole group. He's like, this is Karnan.
That's his name.
Kester looks kind of ashamed right now. These are things that he swore he'd never reveal to you, and now they're here. And he has this sort of guilt for not telling you before, but he kept his promise.
Yeah, I'm going to take a big drink from the bottle and then hand it to Kester. And I wish we could have met under better circumstances, but I'm Benjamin Acha.
He takes the bottle from you, and as he does, he looks you dead in the eye, and after a second he gives this big sigh and says, that witch touches everyone, I guess. You'll want to be a part of this conversation.
Can I get the bottle back from him after that?
After he takes a really long drag.
Yeah, so Rin hasn't sat down yet, probably isn't going to. You can tell that he's clearly really angry and there's sort of a lot going on, but he's also sort of trembling at the same time. There's
the rage,
so much
shake. Yeah.
That's being processed right now that he's not really sure about how to plant his feet.
While the conversation starts, I want to sit down one chair away from Karnan, and I'm going to light a candle and some incense in the middle of the table.
After I hear the witch comment, I'm going to kind of take a more upright position, almost socially guarded and watching these two, because they're obviously involved with the witch, and also kind of shoot a glare over at Rin in the how are you involved? We were just, and then piece it together. Sriracha's brother, Rin involved. They know about the witch. What the fuck? And then just sit back.
Do that thing where you wait for the explanation, not prod for it. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes, no? Okay.
Looks like he has definitely stuff on his mind now.
Okay, Gorik. You guys. Sorry, I'm doing my marker. You guys round the bend. as you come around the bend, they call out that Daggerford isn't burning. But they travel a little bit to the west of Daggerford, trying to investigate where the smoke is coming from. And when they come to a clearing, so they have to park the cart, get off, and kind of walk through the wooded area, and there's a clearing beyond it. When they get out there, there is a mountain of bodies burning. Investigation.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll take it. Oh, shit. 17.
That's still good enough. You would recognize these as people that were driving the carts.
Jesus. Fucking A. That's so depressing. Gork does not say. Looks like my companions failed to save everyone.
One of them kind of starts walking around the pile and looking, and you see like he's almost trying to recognize faces. You can roll an insight check.
Sure. He's trying to find one specific. I got like a 3 or something. I got a 4.
He's just looking around. As far as he's trying to figure out what happened. So they're all of them go on a guard. They look around. The bodies have burned and are still giving off smoke. They decide to go into town, make sure that the guards are aware of this. They assume so because the smoke is so close to Daggerford that they've come to investigate it. But kind of just go in and see what's going on.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
You did recognize them as people that were driving. They looked like commoners, so they're kind of alarmed and they're worried about the population of Daggerford. But so you guys get back on the cart, head into town. Jumper is still out cold. So you guys roll into town, and you do see there are guards marching the street, kind of questioning people about travelers they've seen in the last couple days, what could have gone to this, trying to figure out where the caravan that rolled in last night went to. What do you do?
They're questioning people actively.
Yes.
There's
You can
one
pass.
question.
Right now, as you guys are coming in, they don't seem to notice you just yet as you're dismounting. There's a couple of them that they're standing posts, and as you guys approach the gate, they kind of halt you a little bit. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your business here?
Gorik Hilson. Fizzleboro. Passing through.
If it's any mind for me, I'd say you passed through quickly. We had a scuffle with some travelers last night outside the gates. And this morning we found a pile of corpses, so...
Tell me about this scuffle you speak of.
There was a large caravan came through, parked outside the city limit. Some of them came in, stayed at the inn. Looked like they were actually trying to head out in the middle of the night. Heard a bunch of commotion and chaos, came out. They'd piled up and burned half their numbers.
Aye. All right.
Last night at the inn, they told everybody they were heading to Waterdeep. This morning, they headed out east.
Well, I know what's going on here, actually.
That immediately the guards like perk up and like almost surround you.
Whoa,
Not
hey,
not threateningly. Not threateningly. It's like the old ladies who heard new gossip. Wham.
Okay. Well, here's the long and short of it. I was working for a town called Greenest. I'm sure you all know of it.
And you see a couple like nod their heads. And
That caravan that came through, what they actually were was a cult of Tiamat.
you start to see some of them whisper amongst themselves.
What happened was this cult sacked Greenest, stole a bunch of goods from them, and this caravan was the caravan that was supposed to transport them to whatever holdings that the cult keeps. And the drivers weren't informed of this. They were just hires, and well, it seems like they've been paid now. That's the long and short of it.
That's one hell of a payment. But that makes sense. We had a rider from Waterdeep come and investigate. Told us that came by to tell us that the caravan came to inspect it. Apparently, they'd been warned at the gate that the caravan was full of cultists, but by the time they got here, they were gone.
Damn. Well, if it makes you feel any better, you couldn't have taken them. There's too many. I know it. There's no way that you're. I mean, I'm sure you're fine and dandy in a fight, but you can't take that.
You see one of them nod and agree with you. He's like, I don't care how much you can lift. If it's 50 people, it's 50 people.
Aye.
And then like someone jabs his like gut.
He speaks wise words, even though they're hard to hear. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Right now, we're organizing cleanup. If you want to go with one of our officers to the main hall and give a statement, what you know?
Higher authority? You got a mayor or something here?
We have a reporter. He goes back to the lords in Waterdeep.
Sure. I'll go tell him the same thing I told you. See if he has any questions.
He like nods and goes, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. They just, them uppers. They like it written down.
Aye. And then I go with him.
Yeah. So one of the guards will lead you to like a main hall house. As you go in, there's a secretary. There's a big long door, big long hallway. He goes into one of the doors at the end. There's a tiny man sitting at a desk. With him is a female gnome sitting in the chair in front of him, giving him her account of traveling with the caravan.
Her account of traveling with the caravan? So she traveled with that caravan?
That's what she's telling him.
I'm going to listen in.
She goes through details. Some of them start to line up. She talks about how they had promised that they would pay all of them 300 gold when they got to the north end of Waterdeep, that it was a rush job and they were getting paid so much because they were pushing through the night. She talks about how they barely had any rations. They stayed I can't speak. They stayed at she talks about how they stayed near Dragonspear, the mist, and then they had to leave in the middle of the night because all the stories about the mist are true. That she saw some of the goods, didn't know where they came from, and she explains that basically she had seen the golds, seen the gems, seen the jewels, things like that.
I'm going to interrupt her.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to interrupt you. We're going to pause
okay.
for a second. We have a little bit of a technical difficulty that we're going to fix real quick.
Right.
Sorry, didn't want to break story. I just wanted to fix.
Or break camera for a second.
Yeah.
Camera's going to break for a second.
Switch over. That's okay.
Hopefully it comes back.
We'll bring it back in just a moment. I think it might be so that Ramsey and Sriracha are switched after
I
this
will
one.
fix it if it isn't.
Yeah. I think maybe he can't hear you right now. Maybe you have to type.
Right now.
And now's a good time.
Do it. Kill it. Here, I'll get out. Let's just pull out a knife and be like, do it. Kill
Okay.
Stop
there we go.
it.
There we go.
Okay.
Now
Kill
I'm
me.
over here.
Yeah, we're over here now.
Sorry. Okay, it did. It switched everybody
be
but
good.
Victor and me. So I'm gonna do this live. But anyway, you
Never mind,
interrupt
I
her.
can't hear you guys.
I interrupt her and say, "Oh, hey,
Still can't
I
hear
hate
us.
to interrupt you, but I got plenty to do and not much time to do it. You know, people to save, cultists to kill. You know the role."
She kind of looks a little agitated at you.
That's fine. And then I talk to the shorter man and give him the exact same story that I told the guards out front.
And he thanks you for your time. He asks you a few additional questions, like, did you know where it was coming from?
No.
Did you,
greenest, presumably.
and how did you get that information?
I traveled with him for a while before heading back down south.
So he takes your statement, thanks you for your time, and sends you on your way. The female halfling, or the female gnome, has, after you interrupted her, she left the room. She went out to stand in the hall and wait for you. And as you come out, she kind of gives you this look, and she's like, "How long were you traveling with them?"
Oh, not long. Maybe a day. Maybe a little less.
Okay.
It was not really traveling with them, but their caravan was so large that, I mean, if you're traveling on the same road, you're traveling with them. We decided to hire on as mercenaries to protect them before we found out that they were actually cultists.
Roll a deception check.
Why?
Because you knew them from... Wait, what?
I
knew
didn't
them
know.
No,
No?
we didn't
Not
know
really?
they were cultists until afterwards.
Yeah, we found
I
that
have to
out.
remind that. I don't know.
I
My
can
brain's
still...
a little frazzled from tech and...
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, we found that out kind of afterwards when
Yeah.
we took this hostage
Okay.
and bounced.
So instead she just gives you this kind of like side eye and like, and like walks down the hallway.
Okay. Excuse me, miss. Tell me, how did you escape the cultists, eh?
She looks at you and in a very cocky stance as she's walking back, she's like, "You don't tell me, I don't tell you."
I did tell you. Let me see your hand for a moment. I'll show you mine if you
she
show
like
me yours.
triumphantly holds up both her hands.
Good enough for me. Do the same thing.
But she continues out down out the door.
I want to get back with the party, and if there's nothing else that I see around here that matters, I'm gonna bounce.
Okay.
Before I do though, let me check on Jumpa and see if she's doing okay.
Now it doesn't seem like she's out cold. Now it seems like she's sleeping. She's a little responsive. Like if you like try and shift or
wake her
remove,
up.
her eyes flutter a little bit. She's tired. So like she'll rouse when you like try to wake her.
I will.
She doesn't really actively move though, because once she recognizes you, she like settles down.
That's what I wanted. I wanted her to see my face and she's not like captured or something.
Yeah.
Okay, then I get back on top of the cart and we continue our journey.
Okay.
After checking the eggs too. I have to do these things.
No, your eggs are fine right now.
Thank you. Okay.
It's the same day. They're fine.
It's fine. Okay.
So
I'm a good mama. I'm a good mama.
Karnan has seated himself. Sriracha and Ramsey have seated themselves. Rin is still standing, and Kester is handing a bottle back to Sriracha.
So, Karnan, if that's your name.
Rin's not yours.
I know, but it is now.
Oh.
That is my name.
I understand that.
Convince me that there's a grayskin out there that's better than this. Convince me that this isn't a curse, that you didn't just put me into this world and leave me in it.
He at that statement, he he shifts. He definitely looks jilted. There's like a supreme wash of just like guilt. And you still haven't sat down, right?
No.
So he stands up to face you on the same level. He's just like a little bit taller than you, but just like barely. And he stands up to face you, and he like gets closer, but not in a threatening stance. He approaches you, just like to be closer to you. And when we moved here, your mother does magic like no one else does. And that started rumors. And people found out about that.
Mm.
And they came to take her and you away. And I have spent the last 20 years making sure that they couldn't find you. When you left, things changed. Things happened. And I had to come back because there's no keeping you out of this now.
I'm gonna hand Rin the bottle.
Yeah, he'll accept it. He'll have a pretty hearty gulp and look back at him. And that's a lot, but he's just going to be like, I understand them not finding me, but why couldn't I find you? I've tried for so long. What son should ever grow up not knowing his father's name?
He kind of looks really shaken. And at this
Why
point,
couldn't I find you? I was everywhere. I tried so hard. And you're just here now? You didn't say anything? You didn't do anything about it? You're just here and I'm supposed to accept that?
he definitely looks very scorned, very hurt, but not as though he doesn't deserve the emotion. And you see, even for a moment, he looks down on his feet, and he kind of you've met the witch. I know that now. I've talked to Kess. I know that. Any interaction I would have had with you, she would have known. You couldn't find me because it wasn't safe.
I've spent my entire life chasing after a face I was supposed to recognize. I've loved you my entire life and didn't even know who you were. I have magic that can prevent against that. If she's so good, then why couldn't you just figure it out? Why couldn't this have been better? I don't understand. Do you know how many people I've killed? Do you realize what I've done? Trying to find you? I went to school. I was supposed to do something with my life, and I'm just a fucking murderer. That's all I am.
At that comment, he's gonna snatch your shoulders and like shake you for a second.
He probably
Whoa.
Yeah.
He probably knew.
Hand goes over. It's like, nope. It's like, I kind of
He
like.
will, if you go to contest it, he will stop.
Oh yeah. No. He goes
Yeah.
to grab Rin. I'm just like,
No. And he takes a very deep breath and he's like, when this all started, you couldn't do magic that would stop it. When this all started, we had to get you out. We left you with Kess and we said we'd come back. And then things changed. We couldn't hide. If your mother couldn't hide us from them, I'm sorry, but you can't. I came back because your interactions with stalling their carts, with putting off their sacrifice, have expedited other things. I've been following them for 20 years, not just to keep you safe and to be away, but they still have her. And every chance I have, every move I make, that witch sees, predicts, moves in front of, blocks me out. I haven't come back because I didn't want to come back without her. But now I can't do this by myself.
I'll chime in at that point and say, so it's taken you 20 years to get. How close have you been to this witch before?
I almost touched her. But she's got some pretty powerful magic herself.
All right. So in the past, what month? We've been in her, close to her presence how many times? And you've only done that once in 20 years?
About a week at a time, and I'll take another pull from the bottle and then hand it to Ramsey.
It's don't inspire confidence in your progress.
For the first time, Cardin looks highly offended. But he kind of shoves that away and goes slate face.
While they were having that brief exchange, Rin just sort of like, he was taken down a notch by what was said, and he's like definitely lost the posturing that he was doing to try to maintain that face. And he just like breaks down, like starts crying, and you can see that he like tries to prestidigitation that away, and it just
but like it's not fast enough.
There's too much, and sort of in that moment he just like looks over at Karnan for the first time with like a lot of genuine, not anger, I guess. I mean, he's still got a lot of emotions, but he just looks over and
very out of character. He's gonna open his arms and ask you, "Can I?"
Yeah, Rin's gonna open up as well, but
yeah.
Just, I mean, in that moment, he's just gonna say, "What did she name me? What did you guys name me?"
What did you write on your character sheet? Because you never gave me that.
I never wrote it. Don't worry about it. That's okay. We'll say Rin's it for now. Well, that is the name that you left him off with Kester. That's a bummer.
You said you were gonna name.
That's okay. No, I know he left Kester with the name Rin, so for now that'll be good enough. He can just respond with that, and that'll be fine. Yes,
it's the fucking scene from Lost in Translation where he whispers into your ear.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Rin got a name.
Yes.
We'll
yes.
Yeah. Not in front of everybody.
Karnan just whispers your ear in your name because you're not supposed to be known as that name.
Right. That's true. Yeah,
no one else hears it but you. Even the audience doesn't know.
Perfect. That's all Rin had. He's lost it at this point. He's in embrace of this moment now that he's sort of let it out.
Kester kind of looks awkwardly at Sriracha and Ramsey. He's like,
I look angrily at Kester.
Menacingly.
He looks like confused. Fuck did I do?
I kind of like get this like slightly worked up thing. Worked up look on my face. Not about their hugging, but about
the situation.
And I like walk out of the kitchen into whatever other room there is.
So off the kitchen there is a dining room and there is a waiting room, and then off of that is the shop. Because it's kind of the combo shop and home.
Yeah. Does it open? Can I go back into the shop?
Yeah.
I walk back into the shop.
Okay. There's a bunch of like herbs, potions, mortar pestle. It's a typical sage shop, and then in the corner there's like this tiny little section of like handmade toys.
Go over and start picking up and inspecting the toys, but
there's like nonchalantly, just like that. There's just like
seething,
hand sewn teddy bears and pseudo dragons and blink dogs and weird, not mythical animals, but strange, not well known animals. So Kester will kind of like, I'm playing two NPCs. Karnan will kind of pat your back, and as he pulls you back, you see that he's doing the man thing where I was not crying.
Mm-hmm. Rin probably is too, honestly. It's a
Um,
little both. He's like, I'm in front of my dad. I can't be composed this way right now.
and
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
he gives you a very firm grip on the shoulder, and it's more of the like I'm right here.
Mhm.
And he kind of looks back at Kester, and then looks at you, and he goes, "There's more."
Mm-hmm.
When everything escalated, it all came to a head very quickly, and by the time that we discovered what she was gonna do, and like Carnan looks at Kester like, I don't know how to say this, and Kester takes like a really deep breath and goes, "We looked everywhere for Tari."
Rin grabs the bottle again. If there's any left.
Sriracha does not hold on to it.
Just have that.
Oh boy.
That's yours now.
Gorik,
Yay!
you're back in the cart. You guys
Traveling.
are. We're gonna fast travel that. So as you get to Waterdeep, they do kind of drop you off, kind of outside the line sight or eyesight line of the gate, because they have a cart pulled by drakes, and the guards have been alarmed to a caravan of cultists or dragons.
I will go into the cart.
Okay.
And
They do let you know, because you have the eggs and all that, they will stay in the woods outside Waterdeep to the south
right.
until you're able to get your other cart, get them in there and transfer. They'll be there for a while. They need to rest the horses regardless, so they'll probably be there for about a day. But regardless of how much time you take, they will wait for you.
I'll transfer her over when I take the eggs. Watch her for now, and then I'm gonna attempt to arouse her.
Yeah, she wakes without too much of a problem.
Jumper, I need you to stay here and heal up. These men are trusted. I'll be back in less than a day.
Okay. She nods, and she kind of sits like cross-legged on the floor and pulls her cloak around her. She looks very drained, very tired, and like as you go to leave the cart, she like touches where her ear and horn are missing.
Say, oh, don't fret. You're still imposing, wee beastie.
It might have been a laugh. You're not really sure. She's a weird thing.
Okay.
Very weird gurgle hiss. Might have been a laugh.
I will then approach the gates.
Okay.
From the path.
As you approach the gates, there is a line to get inside Waterdeep. It's kind of like jammed up. And they're very thoroughly going through not only like, who are you, what are you doing here? They're going through everyone's things. They're going through like their pouches, their gold, their furs. So it does take you a while to get to the front of the line. But as you come up, they give you the same, what's your business in Waterdeep? What is your name? Where are you from? Please present your bags.
Gorik Hilson. From? Well, I've been traveling for a while, to be honest, but...
Traveling where?
To here. Hey, this is, I'm meeting some friends here. They're already inside the city gates.
What are your friends' names?
Rin, Ramsey, and the great knight of greenest Sriracha.
You see all of them like raise their eyebrows and look back and forth at each other, and they're like, 4 horses on a cart.
They probably had that, aye.
Okay. And one of them turns from the entrance gate to lead you down a path.
Where are we going?
Well, we took your cart for impound, and you guys were all allowed to take your items, personal items, off of there. But we still have to investigate the rest of it. So if you'd like to collect anything from it, please do so. If you don't want to collect anything, I still need to get a statement. They have given their statements. And he
All right, carry on.
he begrudgingly takes out this makeshift clipboard so he can do it while he's walking.
Fantastic. Where would you like me to start?
Well, the half-elf Ren, he started with leaving Waterdeep, his travel with a family south, getting to Baldur's Gate, then to Greenest and the Cultist, but I swear that journey was 6 pages.
All right, I'm going to cut out all that shit. It doesn't matter. So here's how
He
it went
grumbles
down.
a thank you.
Here's how it went down. Greenest was attacked by these fucking cultists, sacks of shit. May they all die in a fire.
You see him shorthand that statement.
Fair enough. Greenest was attacked. We managed to save much of the people, though the town was sacked, many of the valuables taken. These cultists decided to take all of the valuables, i.e. this entire train of, or that entire train of carts and such.
Now, we heard that they were coming from Daggerford. We sent a reporter there this morning, and they said they headed east. Do you know anything about that?
I don't recall. But I will tell you that the drivers they hired, they decided to kill. I've actually passed a field of slaughter on my way here. It was the drivers that they betrayed.
We had a fear that that was it. After we heard from your friends what was going on, and then all of a sudden a pile of bodies appears this morning. Well, you don't have to be a genius to put that math together.
No, sir. No, you don't. Well, the cult is doing cult things, killing people and stealing shit, so that's pretty much what happened. We didn't know it was the cult when we first started with them. Well, we were on the trail, and they were there on the trail, and we decided to hire on as some extra guards, and in doing so, found out that, well, suspected at least that they were part of the cult and wanted nothing more to do with it. That's pretty much how it goes.
So they headed north, and you stayed with the caravan?
Well, I myself, as to why I'm not with my party, I went south. That's a long story, and frankly, not one that's important for the situation.
You see him jot down no alibi.
That's fine.
And as you guys are talking, and he's walking, and he leads you to the trade center where there is a field, and the cart is parked in there. You see that the horses are off their reins and grazing, but they have started to dismantle most of the cart so they can search for secret compartments and things of the like.
Better know how to put that back together.
You taking apart the cart there?
Gotta
Come
make
here.
sure they didn't slip anything in there.
I don't care about what slipped in who where. You best know how to put that back together just as you found it. That was put together by craftsmen, not some mallet-wielding shit-stain.
The guy that approaches you who's taking apart the cart is this thick red bearded dwarf that just as you say it, his eyes just narrow and narrow.
Wait,
and
it was
narrow.
a dwarf taking it apart?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't say the shit stain part. It's a dwarf. In fact, I'll if I
You
can
look up
retcon
to
that a
him.
little- if I retcon that just a little bit, I speak to him in dwarvish.
Yeah.
And I say, make sure none of these people less inclined technically have any hand in this. I want to make sure it's done right.
He replies in dwarvish, and he says, "It's got the scornable stamp. I know how to put this jigsaw back together."
Fantastic. I'll be counting on you. I'd tip you, but it might look like a bribe.
Not if you bury one on the cobblestones outside. He ain't one to pass up gold.
I like you. What's your name?
Galley.
Gally. It's good to meet you, Gally. I hope we have pleasant encounters in the future. I'll be heading off. If there's anything you need, call for Gorik Hilson.
And he goes and he gives his big leather-clad glove. Goes for a big forearm shake. It's Galley Stonebeard. Very generic.
Go to Kilson. Very hilly. And then I walk. Oh, hey! Before I leave, you wouldn't happen to know of this? I think it's a toy shop. You got a toy shop in town?
He was like, "What kind of toys?" And like won't look you directly in the eye.
Oh, the kind for children, not adults.
You never know what people are asking nowadays. And he tells you, he starts listing a ramble of toy shops. This is Waterdeep. It's the biggest city on the Sword Coast.
Any of them, any of them owned by an older gentleman?
He lists off like half.
You know his name too. You know the name Kester.
Oh, I do know Kester's name.
Yes,
Any of them
you do.
by the name of Kester?
And he's like, "Oh, Custer's Collectibles. Yeah, that's down." And he like gives you the entire like from here how to get there.
It's actually not far from there.
I didn't want to meta knowledge that shit,
No.
but that's
Yeah.
right. I do know Kester's name.
You do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so fantastic. I'm going to follow his directions and head on off.
Okay. So you come up, you follow his directions, and you come up to a.
And as I'm doing so, find that cobblestone and slip a couple gold under there.
Galley will remember that.
Gally will remember this.
So as you follow his directions, you come up to this kind of shack front, windowed, Kester's Collectibles. As you go in, as you look at the door, there's 2 windows on either side. In the front of one window, there's actually a tiny miniature. It's like this open field, and it's got this blue dragon and a ballista. And in the other window, you see Ramsey fiddling with stuffed animals.
Oi!
I wave into the window, and then I enter.
I guess I'll go let him in because the door was locked, I'm sure.
That's right. Yeah. I'm sure I did.
Ramsey, you great big bastard. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. I wish it was a better time.
Oh, fill me in.
Well, apparently we have entered the home wrecking central of Rin's family drama that has apparently spilled over into this campaign with the cultists.
Oh, such a military man campaign. It sounds fancy. Do tell though, this toy maker, he's did he boof his mom or something?
Maybe. I have no idea how they're related, but the fact of the matter is apparently this guy has been attempting to stop this group of cultists for the past 20 years.
Sounds good to me.
And it doesn't seem like he's made much progress. This is the Drow. You'll see him in a moment in the other room. Anyways.
Wow, interesting. Rare to see them, but all right. I guess I'll go meet him, eh?
Sure. It sounds like they have his wife as well, but that's... They've had her for what sounds like quite a while.
Oh, she's dead. Shame though. And then I push past her.
Just before they come in the room, before Rin knows they're there, he's gonna let Magnolia out of his pouch, and just sort of like talking gently. He sort of just says, "Well, you came on this adventure with me too, so we both get to meet him, I guess." And so he sets her on the table, and she can do whatever. She's just a mouse, but I'm sure she's pretty comfortable in this space. She's probably pretty well trained not to fuck anything up. So he just lets her like wander if we're in the house, and he'll come pick her up when we're ready to go somewhere else.
Carmen will give her a scritch, but not interact with her too much.
Fair.
She's
Probably
a mouse,
seen
they
one
kind
too
of
many
just
other
do
ones.
it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm going to like cork the bottle, and then I'm gonna see Gorik walk in, and I'm gonna uncork it again.
I was gonna say Rin's gonna go grab another bottle. Like, we've probably polished a good amount of this one. He's grabbing another to make sure that he didn't just drink your wine.
So you see this door just open, and there's nothing there, and then you look down, and there's Gorik.
There's Gorik.
That's
That's exactly Custer's reaction. That was,
Yeah.
oh.
and then I look at my companions, and Rin,
He gives
Rin.
he gives Rin kind of a side eye as he reaches for wine because he's still like in adopted dad mode. He's like,
Yeah, no, he.
but he lets it go because the situation is the situation.
Right. Rin's he can drink.
It's good to see ya. And then I walk up to Ben, I give him a big, like his leg, a big
Like
old
a leg wrap.
hug.
I'm gonna pat you on the head, hand you a bottle, and say catch up.
My man. And then I just down it, and then go over to Rin as I'm downing it,
Mhm.
and give him a big old hug. I'll stop drinking while I hug him, and give him a big old hug. Say,
Yeah.
Kester, Karnan, this is
Gorik.
Rin will
Kester-
reciprocate the embrace, and over that comment, he's gonna say, "He's the reason I'm still alive." Well, they all are, but the first time I was ever really threatened, it was him. So I guess we have him to thank for this situation in some ways, or at least all of us being congregated.
Rin, you've returned the favor many times over. You're a good man. Now these two, this Kester, I've heard some about you. Not too much though. And you, why is he here?
That's what I thought too. We're past that conversation. I don't need to dull you with it.
Kester and Karnan exchange glances, and then you see Karnan start drinking.
Yeah, that's fair. Rin will hand him a bottle, actually. Yeah.
Catch up.
I really don't know how to fill you in on this situation, honestly, but he's here and he's got news that we need to know.
Oh, you.
So,
We can cut to the shorthand of it.
You're the one that's been hunting the cultists for 20 years.
This is when I'll come back into the room.
He looks a little disgruntled, and even as Ramsey enters the room, he doesn't look at him.
I lock eyes. Look at me, motherfucker.
try to intimidate him into looking you in the eyes.
Doesn't even look at him. He just keeps talking to Gorik. He's like, things have started moving faster since you guys left. It's a little more than a one-man job.
It's a 4-man job.
Are you
Totally.
just figuring out now that it's not a one-man job, or have you been trying to fight this as one man for the past 20 years?
Oof.
This
We
is when I
just met.
figured out it was a job and I didn't want to endanger other people.
Okay.
I'm sensing I missed something, but the tension is bad. So, more alcohol, I think.
Rin's just going to say, "You sure did," and then clap you on the back as you drink some more. Like, you missed a lot, buddy.
Well, what's the long and skinny, gents? I got my eggs in the forest waiting for our cart. I bribed the person searching the cart. We should be good to go.
Are you going to tell them about Jumper or no? That's up to you.
Thank you for reminding me. Also, crazy happenstance, I found Jumper on the path. She'd been, well, you know how Jumper does with the murdering of the cultists and eating of the arms and whatnot. Well,
Yes.
she seemed to
That's true.
have
That's
gotten
uncomfortable.
the better of a fight and the worst of a fight at the same time. She has some injuries. I know she's fine, but she's with the eggs.
I wouldn't expect otherwise. Nothing can best that thing.
Well, if you saw her, you might change your mind. It was pretty bad.
Is she okay?
She's gonna survive, but she's not gonna have an ear, and she's not gonna have a horn for until she eats something with horns, I guess. You know how.
Horns broke off?
Well, cut. It looked like. Yeah.
Poor girl.
Kind of like yeah, it wasn't pretty, but she's doing all right now. She's got some arms to eat, so she'll be all right.
Kester kind of his curiosity kind of peaks up as the tension's still there, but they're kind of trying to wind it down. And Kester's curiosity peaks up. He's like, "You keep referring to as a female and then an it."
We don't really
Aren't
know.
we all both it, non-gendered, and gendered at the same time?
I sure am.
You said horns.
She has horns, aye. Oh, all of a sudden only males are allowed to have horns? This guy. Anywho, so where do you folks want to go from here? I don't mean to interrupt, but it is good to see you all again.
Well, I think Karnan has a little more explaining to do, seeing as how he's been following this cult for 20 years. He probably knows more than any of us.
Karnan.
We stare longingly at Karnan.
I find a pillow to
For
sit
his
on.
answer.
A pillow to sit on.
I didn't know if you guys were going to ask questions or if I just
Rin's
start talking,
probably got
so
a
I
little
was
booster
like,
chair from his childhood that he
Yeah.
offers to Gore.
What,
No, that's far too demeaning.
I would probably go through what I know, the notes that I have. Resmir, the Black Half Dragon, she seems to lead them. She's the one that planned the whole raid on Greenest. Then there's Cyan Wrath, the Blue Half Dragonborn, the right hand of someone named Mondeth. Do you
and
know anything
at
about
that
Mondeth?
name, his eyebrows go up, and he just
Okay.
starts nodding and like
We'll come back.
comprehending what you know.
They had an actual dragon that apparently goes by the name of Leninoth. That's the one that gave me this nasty scar on my back.
Kester
Then we
pipes
have-
up. He goes, "And your boy shot it with a ballista, big arrow." Not really familiar with those things.
You guys told him about this already, I see.
I think they've been watching us. Kester,
Doric.
at least.
Yes.
Kester, like now
Super
that he's kind of been outed, because it was always that like non-spoken thing. He like kind of looks a little sheepish, but then he's like, you know, when kids go out into the world, you kind of want to keep an eye on them and let them do their thing, but make sure they're okay.
I think maybe that's your problem.
Karnan, did you just say when your kids go out into the world?
Kester did.
Kester, who's your kid here?
Him and Karnan look really uncomfortable at the same exact moment.
I am.
You're Kester's son this entire time?
He raised me.
Oh, well, fair
May
enough.
not be blood, but he's my
Oh.
dad.
I was mistaken. Anywho, I could see you checking in on your lad every once in a while. We've kept good care of him, and he's kept good care of us. It's a strong lad you raised. It's a shame his father couldn't be here to see it.
Karnan shifts in his seat. And he's like, he gives like a big like,
Uh-huh.
I'm so sorry.
and the like dead eyes Goric.
Uh-huh.
Can I help you?
And then they have Tenyaku, the witch. We all know her.
Karnan like has trouble switching subjects, but collects himself and goes back. It's like, okay. So, Resmir, Cinerath, those are the small fry. Mandath is the one that you need to go after. They've been collecting and hoarding treasures and jewels because they believe when they summon Tiamat into this world that it will appease her and it will cause her to give them favor. They don't realize what a beast she is. But the way for them to summon her into this world, first, they have to put her consciousness on this plane. And to do that, they have to use a human.
Like an avatar of a god or something? Like a vessel?
And I have another question there, real quick. What steps were you taking to stop them from getting this wealth?
My concern wasn't about the wealth at the time.
Bet it was about what?
Getting my wife back.
And that's all. But now suddenly this cult is becoming a problem with your attention.
They've been my attention the whole time. And he like narrows his eyes at Ramsey. He's like, I wasn't in it to try and save the world. I was in it to try and save my family. And that was it. That was what I wanted. So I got close. I figured things out. I tried to move against them. But every 10 years, they get a new witch. They get a more powerful one. And this new one is not something to play with. They see you coming. They know your plans.
I'm glad to know that you've done such a great job, having been tracking them for 20 years. It's just too bad that 4 guys that randomly met in a bar were able to completely disrupt an assault on one of their castles.
That's why he's here, isn't it?
Can I take your arm aside to Ramsey? Can I like try and have a side conversation with Ramsey here?
Yeah, what?
Hey,
Still sitting at the table.
So, well, I'll take.
He just pulls his head under the table.
Yeah, he just drags him down.
What's the deal here, buddy? You seem to be kind of aggressive to this guy. This guy has been admittedly not good at doing things against the cult, but he's been trying for 20 years. You know, they took his wife, for God's sake. Why? I mean, I feel bad for the guy.
With my passive perception at 18, am I able to overhear this?
Probably.
Just out of curiosity.
If they just go into the next room, you probably hear it.
No, he pulled me down. I will pull him back up and look at him and kind of like look at the room and I say, I fear that this group is not being this group of cultists is not being taken with the certain level of seriousness that it needs to be taken with.
Well, you know, I've
like
had a drink or two on the trail. I might have had a little fun here or there, but I've been trying to be serious about it.
I think he's pegging that one on me.
Not just you.
Gork doesn't know that.
There have been many opportunities to take the rug out from under them, and I don't think that it's been addressed properly how we could be combating this. Instead, we're doing things that are potentially going to be taking out small fry. On the road, we had a potential to stop that caravan where it was and get those drivers to a safe place.
Not all of them.
And now we have no idea where they went. Hopefully they're still on their way here.
I'll let you know what happened to the drivers. And Gork looks very somber. Well, it seems that despite our best efforts, the drivers have all been slaughtered, save one that I know of. They were in a burning pile to the south. It looked like pretty much all of them died.
Sriracha gets up and leaves the room.
Karna looks across the table at Ramsey and goes, sometimes all that planning you do, get him here to Waterdeep, warn the guards, make sure they know, kind of goes the other way.
And what have you done to speak ill of Ramsey and his attempts at saving?
I'm not speaking ill of him. I'm showing the same example I have planned time and time and again, and they always get warned. They always get some insight to it. There's
So you-
always another step ahead. I'm not pegging him for believing that that could work. I'm just showing him, letting him understand that I've made plans. I've done things to try and stop this. You really want to stop the cult? You don't stop their gold collecting. You take away the conduit they're going to put our consciousness into? Can't do shit then.
Oh, this conduit. Do you know who it is? Maybe.
He looks at Randy, looks at the room, he's like, that would be my wife.
Oh, she's still alive then.
And then Kester kind of like shakes his head and he's like, at this point, he like looks at Rin but like doesn't want to say it. He's like, it could be someone else.
Let me just get this straight. You're saying we need to kill your wife?
Don't you
Rescue is
dare
an
assume
option.
that.
It's what he said.
didn't laugh.
And
That's
also,
not-
why do you care?
Because that's his mother.
Who said that?
Karnan would have.
What the what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh,
If
God.
that's his mother, and that woman's married to you, that would make you his stepdad or his actual dad?
Is that really the point of this conversation right now?
Oh, I'm just curious. Sorry.
So Karnan like looks
can't
around
say
and he's
that
like,
to
I'm
me,
sorry. We're just gonna shorthand this. I'm his
Drop a
father.
bomb and expecting to do nothing? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
He looks at Gork and goes, I'm his father. When all of this went down, I left him in safe hands to go solve this problem. Took a lot longer than I expected. Kester did a good job raising him in my absence. Are we
The
clear?
corner sort
Are
of
we
was
good?
farther than you thought. Hey.
Getting into like family things. I'll turn around and walk out to where
Yeah.
Sriracha went. Leave the room again.
I honestly don't know above board what more information we can get for him. It sounds like he's been incredibly ineffective as of yet.
I haven't really talked to him much, actually.
Yeah.
No, we were all the questions seem to be about the past and what he was doing, not what
Right.
has gone on.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, we
a-
haven't really addressed it.
The only new information that you've gained is about when Tari went missing.
And the fact that he thinks that we need to get rid of their conduit. Well, putting that on a back burner, though it is a big one, what do you think we should do then? You've been following them for 20 years.
I know that they're gathering at a castle, but inside the castle, they've got a portal. Their final summit is, and he looks at Kester, and almost as if he knows what he's about to say sounds ridiculous. Their castle where they're going to summon the consciousness of their goddess is in the clouds.
Well, don't have any wings. Maybe a dirigible or a
From
flying mount.
From what I
Oh.
understand, what I've overheard, things that I've gone through, it's solid up there. If you go through on the portal,
Ooh.
it's solid up there. It's an abandoned sky giant castle.
Oh.
The only way I can fathom to get there, for me, is through that portal. But to get to that, you have to go into the dead of things.
I'm sorry?
Into the center of all of them collecting at the castle.
Oh. Yikes. Then, you've been quiet. What's
What?
the...
A lot to take in right now. What's up? This is more than I expected. Where's the dead of things again? I'm sorry. How deep are we gonna have to figure this shit out, Ed?
From what I understand, it's in the bottom of Castle Neartar.
Okay. Do we have a plan on that, or is that what we're here for?
Do you have a way inside?
I know a back door, but once you get into that room, there's no hiding. Once you get into that room, you have to make a break for the portal or deal with everything inside.
Ooh.
What's our opposition look like in that room? I'm sure it's not, easy. But
Red,
if we're just weighing our options here.
the Black Dragon, Resmir, and the Witch are the ones that can turn on the portal. If you can't turn it on, you can't get through it. I've had some time to go and skulk the room, so I know the layout, but it's never on. When
Write it down. Sorry.
He pulls into a back pouch and flips out it like a journal, flips it open and slides it over the table, and it's got the layout map of the castle.
I copy it.
Yeah. I'll show that to you later. And when the portal is active, they're coming and going constantly, and one of them is there ready to shut it down.
Do you know how to shut it down and turn it on?
It's a spell that only they know.
Right.
Okay, so from the sounds of things, we either don't have the tools that we need or don't have the manpower that we need. Doesn't sound like 5 or 6 people can really do this.
You're saying we need an army.
We can't hide. We can't oppose them with our numbers. We have to somehow get these dragonkin to say a magic spell that's going to open a doorway into this castle in the sky. It sounds like we're in over our heads.
I think presumably what would happen is that we would attempt to break in when we knew the portal was open and charge through the portal, and perhaps find some way of closing it after we go through so they can't send reinforcements. And then have some form of I know there's some magics that allow you to arrest a fall. We may be able to escape by jumping off and then having our fall arrested that way.
I have been trying to claim some information. The witch seems to cast it at will, but the dragon needs to use a command word. I've never been able to get the paper, and all she has to do is whisper it. So if we can get through her things, and she doesn't always leave her room guarded and possibly find that.
Before we get too far into this, half our party's not even in the room. We need to get all the
I'm
brains.
listening from the other room.
Oh, you're listening from the other
He's
side?
doing
Okay.
that thing where he's
Okay.
on the other side of the door frame, just like
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure Sriracha can hear as well.
Oh, I'm just spaced out looking at the statue or the mini of the blue dragon in the
This bitch right here. Try to fucking kill me.
having a bit of an existential crisis.
Fair. Okay. Well, Rin's gonna poke his head out really quick and see if either of the men in that room are interested in coming back in and having this conversation. He's not.
Yeah,
gonna fight about it.
I'll look over at Sriracha and kind of let him be like, so you expect us to find a piece of paper, get into a room, to probably their most heavily guarded room as well. And then get up there.
With a little bit of like a petty sneer, he looks at Ramsey and goes, "You expected me to do it alone?"
No. I expected you to summon an appropriate amount of help.
Isn't that
use
what we are?
appropriate tools.
I came back
20 years later.
once I found out what I needed.
I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I've also got my problems with the time frame we're looking at here, but the way I see it, he's in the room now, and we need to make this plan. If this is really such a thing that we need to take so seriously, then let's get serious about it and just figure out whatever our next step is. We've figured it out before. We're still alive.
Yeah, for now. Look, there are people that are dying on the ground here. And while I think it's all great to put your head in the clouds sometimes, per se, doesn't sound like you have accrued the resources that you need for contingencies, or do you?
The rest of my guild is still overseas. Didn't make friends with the ones here. From what I understand, the Harpers, Zentarum, the Gauntlet, they all know what's going on. We get in contact with them.
They're all over the city. We don't even have to go far. Basically, every bar you walk into has some kind of Zent agent in it. Xanathar, or whoever else. They're easy to spot.
I have some contacts nearby that might prove fruitful. So what's the plan here? We assemble an army and charge the gates to this portal that we can't open ourselves?
Summon an army, charge the gates, make the Black Dragon, or bend the witch to make her open the portal.
You've never met a dragon, have you? You don't make a dragon do anything.
I've killed 5, so.
You've killed 5? Very nice. Did you have one make you a toaster strudel beforehand?
He will not.
Or did you just kill it?
There is a big difference, and I don't think that you have the skills to get this done.
That's why I'm here.
Oh dear.
Okay. Well, then best of luck.
Oh, we have the information from the man. It's not like we need to utilize his help. What else can he provide?
Companionship, fatherhood.
Oh.
Something I'm missing, actually. It's pretty important to me if you guys haven't picked up yet.
Karnan looks at his feet.
This is a tense situation, and I think I'm best served at a bar.
I've got more drinks if you need them. This conversation's important.
Ramsey is going to look at everybody and say, well, look, if you guys think that this guy is going to get it done when he hadn't even thought about the fact that
get what done?
he needed help getting this cult stopped.
How do you tie? No, that's our job. Obviously, he's not going to do it. He couldn't do it in 20 years. So, like, he gave us the information. I feel like we should use the information and go on our way. Obviously, do you have any other resources that might help us? Anything at all?
I have some information on a Zentarum agent that has been following the cult, and I think I know where to locate her.
Oh, spill it!
She last I heard she was riding with the caravan that was headed north. I think she's probably still in Daggerford. She should be here in a couple days. It's a female gnome named Jumna.
Jumna. Anything else? Are you tapped?
I didn't have very many connections.
Oh, yeah.
But
20 years isn't that long. So, what do you say, companions? Which would you, how do you want to skin this cat?
Why would I skin a cat?
Oh, no, it's talking about fish. It's like a catfish.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah,
no, we're not gonna skin a
food or
cat.
whatever. Okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna leave him again. I've spent too much time apart.
Well, here's the thing. That portal is kind of a determining factor on how we approach this. If we can't open it ourselves, we need to have it opened for us. Presumably, they'd have it open already, and we'd try and rush through.
With them collecting and hoarding all this gold, there's a lot of chaos.
New people. Maybe some fresh cultists.
Well, things that could go unnoticed. You guys spend time collecting agents, and I go back and find that command word.
You think you can find it?
I only learned of its existence recently, so I hadn't been trying yet. I figured I'd come back and gather numbers, but I have a feeling that I'll be able to get it. I know that you want me by your side, but your mom's been waiting 20 years. I can't.
Ha, so is he.
He's gonna leave a statement after Quark interrupts him.
Sorry, it's just fucking...
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Hey, bud.
I'll say best of luck. I don't think that suicide is a good option. I will look around the room and I will say, I think this is where we part ways.
Well, Lane just did say he wasn't going to part ways from his father. Well, this guy.
Are the hit jobs more important than the world?
Huh.
The money you
No.
can make off some peddler? Is that more important? Whew. We met in a bar and got knighted 2 days later. Do you realize what an impact we can make here?
He did.
I just don't think that this is the way to do it.
Enlighten
And
us.
those people on the road were innocent, and we had an opportunity to take out a large section of their plans, and we let it go.
We could have died too. Our plan
could
wasn't
have.
foolproof. I know it was good. Don't get me wrong. The plan was good, but everything we've done so far has been by the seat of our pants. We haven't done anything that makes a splash that we need to be. There's nothing crazy going on here. We've been trying. Even our plans have been trying. Look, I mean, you know us. You know me. If you don't want to be a part of it, I get it. I mean, go. If that's what this is, I can't talk you out of it.
I feel personally responsible for not carrying out the idea that I had in order to save those people.
And it was the
deal
right
with blow.
Oh, you had a plan to save the drivers, huh?
Hmm.
Oof. Rough.
Castor looks uncomfortable, but Cardin has adopted his slate face again.
Ramsey,
so
are you saying that you don't want to attempt to stop the rise of this Tiamat lady? Well,
Oh, I do. I just think I have a different way about going about things.
is this are you saying a way that doesn't include us? Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
Oh,
So like I said, good seeing you again. And I
Rin's gonna go to shake your
grab
hand.
Gorik's hand.
Oh shit. Okay.
We'll get Gorik.
no,
Rin.
you're gonna hold out your hand. And I'm gonna stare at you into your eyes,
All right. Well,
and
hand
I'm
on
gonna
the shoulder,
Rin's.
and then
Yeah, Rin will take your hand and just say, "Well, thanks for helping me find my dad. Good luck out there." And that'll be what he leaves you on.
You're gonna leave your old comrade just like that?
He doesn't want to be here.
Oh, I
Why
know.
should I
I'm
make
saying.
No, I know. Rin's saying that. Rin's saying that. Yeah.
All right, my mistake.
No.
I mean, fair enough. Hey,
If he doesn't want to be here, there's no point in me making him. I've learned that lesson one too many times in my life.
ooh,
Karnan looks at his feet.
Sriracha, you've been quiet.
he's over.
I'm still in the other room.
God damn it!
He's spacing out. We haven't filled him in on any of this.
I'll turn around and walk out, and then as I'm walking past Sriracha, I'll look over at him and kind of say, "Don't die," and then just like open the door and walk out.
I'm chasing after him.
I shout behind both of you before you say that because he's leaving. If we fail, it'll be on you to prevent this from happening. No, not on you as in blame.
Right,
on
right.
you as in it will be your turn. Or whatever. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say
Pick up
that.
the reins. Yeah.
Can I make a stealth check?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Sriracha, if you're going to follow him, make a perception check.
11.
12. Shit,
There's a crowd of people. Somebody kind of looks like Ramsey from behind, but you can't really be sure.
Oh.
Didn't even get to say goodbye. Top 10 anime betrayals.
Yeah, for real.
I'm just walking then.
Oh. Are you continuing to hide from? I guess what direction? We'll start. What direction did you go, Sriracha? Left or right?
Into the
I
wind.
don't know,
Man.
I'd probably go right.
All right. Well, then I'll have you go right and make one more contested stealth and perception check.
20 non-nat.
Okay, well I got a 3, so
Don't
Oh man.
see him.
I am in the wind.
You don't see Ramsey. Just keep walking.
Go to him.
He tried.
You know.
Damn.
I walk up to Sriracha and say, this is the time to shout out any last words for him. We won't see him for a while, I'm sure.
I'm still walking.
Yeah, he's out there, like
I
just
was
on the streets.
Tempting to.
Oh, are you
Oh,
chasing
to run
him
up?
down?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not making stealth checks.
Yeah.
It's not that important. I just
Wouldn't
figured
say
if you got a
anything.
last word, that would be the time.
He probably wants to find Ramsey and say it to him face to face. Just can't seem
If
to see him.
if Sriracha's talking to Ramsey again, it's face to face.
Yeah.
Face to grave.
What's everybody doing?
Walking around the streets of Waterdeep.
Going back to the toy store to be with Rin.
Our knight friend is going to be gone for a while. I think he's got a lot of streets to cover. Yeah, I mean, I guess if nothing else, I'm just like sitting in that room, sort of reveling in the fact that I'm in the presence of someone I've chased after for so long.
Karnan does move to sit in the seat adjacent to yours. And he like kind of shakes his head and he's like, "Listen, I know we have to get on this. I know we have to move, but that's a lot of information to take in for one night." And he's gonna like nod up to Kester, and uncharacteristically, you'll see Kester like underhand him a bottle from the counter.
Sounds about right. No, never mind. I was gonna say, can I try to catch it? But no.
I mean, you
I'll let him
can.
have it. I'll let him have it. I'll let him have it.
Well, he uncorks it and puts it between you two after he takes a
okay.
pull. So
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the first one to reach out, then I'm definitely gonna have a drink. There is sort of a lot to cover, I suppose. But oh man.
As Sriracha is walking around, he'd probably ask for directions towards the Temple of Lathander.
and that's very easy to gain. The Temple of the Thunder is. I have notes. I'm sorry. Waterdeep's big.
So I was gonna say, since he's asking, it's not really meta knowledge. I was already gonna be Rin and let him know. I was just gonna cast Sending to Sriracha and let him know to make his way to the castle ward.
Okay. Thank you.
It'll be a large marble temple. You really can't miss it. It practically shines brighter than the sun itself. And you can choose to respond however you want to, or not respond. You don't have to.
Or you can hold on to it.
Or you can hold on to it.
I'm not going to say anything yet.
Hold.
Hitting the bottle. Hitting that sauce pretty hard.
Rin and Gorik, if there's anything you want, or should we cut to Sriracha? Sure.
I think we'll cut to him. Basically,
Shit,
we can leave the scene on, like, Rin probably has an abundant amount of questions that Skylar hasn't conceived yet. And
Leaving the scene of drinking with real dad, tall
Yeah.
dad, and short dad.
Right. Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much how it's going right now. It's like
He has a father figure?
most of the father figures are in my life are in this room right now. So,
And the other one abandoned you again.
The other one randomly, yeah. A new
Come
one.
on, dude.
Hey, just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
So, Sriracha, as you follow the directions that Rin sent to you, you are able to come across a large stone building, a sun etched in the double doors. It is inlaid with gold. The doors are very rich wooden. The temple itself is gilded with golden figures, and there's a picture of the Pantheon. Of course, Lathander is the largest. This is one of the first temples that you have seen an actual human figure deity shown for Lathander instead of just the symbol. It is known and there are paintings, but this is the first time you've seen it on a temple. It is white marble that even in like the setting hours of the night, it reflects the light of the moon. It is very much a beacon to that faith.
Probably a sight to behold. I would probably just stare at it for like 5 minutes and then walk in.
As you walk in, it's very quiet. Your boots echo in the hall. It's a very, very large temple. The front room itself is a long stretched hall filled with pews. Up at the end of it, there's an uprise and a pedestal for someone to stand and speak upon. There are people in the pews. You can see that there are men with white, very pristine, clean white clothes with silver trim on it walking about. Some of them have incense swings. Some of them have like bells that they're doing in a rhythm. They are very much honoring the last hour prayer to the Lathander.
I want to ask one of them if there's like a private room that I could have for like an hour.
He looks you up and down, and seeing your armor, seeing your garb, he has this understanding of who you are. And without any argument or hesitation, he like, oh, this way, and like he shows you to. There's an offshoot room. There's like a little hall, a bunch of doors, and about the third floor down, one large door, the double door again, pushes open. There is it's a relatively small room here hall. About 10 by 10. There's stone elders in the center. There's a pillow prayer, and there's a mural rise of Xander portraying as Christ on
Don't know if you want to handle that first. Anyway, I would lock the door. Basically take off everything I have, just down to like underwear or whatever. Lay out my candles, the 49 I have left, in like the shape of a sun, and light all of them, and then, and then kneel in the middle. Real quickly, just, I'm sorry, Rin. I'll see you soon. And then, just try and talk to Lathander. Like, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing. Ramsey was right. We could have taken out half the cult, saved those drivers, but now they're all dead because we didn't take action. I'm sorry if I'm failing you on this journey, but just keep me and my family safe, please.
There's a small moment last during the prayer, and then your vision white and almost in the back of your head, and your song and says, for as long as you travel, I will be and your vision kind of fades back next to there's a great bad things happen, but it almost doesn't feel okay. It's almost as there's acceptance that you can't change the world. All you have this almost very reassuring
All right. Honestly, I'd probably just hang out in there for the better part of, I know I told that guy an hour, but until they try to kick me out.
not that you're aware of how the municipalities suggest anything larger. Sorry, I screwed up. You haven't been to a larger temple of Lathander, but no one seems to come and bother you. No one seems to come and work at you or anything like that. They just seem to leave you be.
All right. So I would probably be there for like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 hours then before
That'll put you
leave.
around midnight.
I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would walk back and make my way towards Kester's collectibles again.
Okay.
If you've been there for a couple hours,
Rin is hammered.
Gorik's drinking with you, and if he can pull you aside at some point, just, aside from your other 2 father figures, Jesus Christ, this campaign. Dan.
Is this before I'm hammered at some point?
This is while we're drinking.
While we're
getting
drinking.
hammered.
So probably before you're hammered.
Hammered.
Right.
You're not
Right. Okay.
Not murdered yet.
Just wanted to make sure for the,
It came into this a little late, but I I'm just starting to understand really how much of a profound impact this must have had on you. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Are you okay?
That question is typically a pretty hard-hitting one. I think he just starts crying, actually.
Come here, you.
Like, he doesn't really say it. I think he just, yeah. Like,
boom. Massive. Small hug.
Yeah. Massive small hug. Yeah. It is reciprocated.
It is. And I know. It'll
He's
it'll
like
pan
pocket dad.
Yeah.
It'll pan out. Hey, look at the bright side though. The bright side, the side of Lathander, maybe even. You found your fa, finally, after all this time of searching. It might not have been under the greatest of circumstances, but you did it. The quest that you set out, you did it. You should be proud.
He's going to give you one of those, like, brotherly handshakes, grabbing up by the forearm kind of thing. And just be like, couldn't have done it without you guys there.
You know what this calls for?
What's that?
Calls for getting fucking sloshed.
It sure does, buddy. Rin
that's-
has brought the drum out at this point. He is smashed enough that the drum has surfaced yet again.
Gork will start singing using a voice that he picked up from maybe
Anywhere.
barmaid or something like that along the travels.
Beautiful.
You can sing Osira's Song of Greenest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll do it in her voice. It'll be crazy.
Because you have mastermind. Custer finds this hysterical.
Yeah, Rin is gonna like push the table that we were at up against like a wall or a counter or something. That way there's more open space in the room. And then he's just gonna like sit on the end of it with his drum and then make space for Gorik as well. Yeah.
Standing next to you. Absolutely.
And we'll just be playing some jaunts, some merry tunes and appreciating each other's company, I think.
As it goes for a while, so as you push the table up, Karnan kind of sat on the edge of the table and just like watched you do your drums and have your fun and do your thing. But as you go for a while and your beats been kind of consistent, he actually pulls out this like crystal hollowed out flute and starts playing with you.
Oh baby, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely ask about it.
Yeah. He kind of like he's gotten more lighthearted, but he hasn't gotten drunk.
Sure.
He still is trying to keep a little mental focus. He kind of laughs and pulls it away. He goes, "Well, your mom was more the musical talent than I was." And he kind of like, after that comment, looks at it for a second and then like kind of hands it out for you to like hold.
I will take. I take. I inspect.
I take.
No, yeah, I'm sure it's some weird stumbly, fumbly grab that he gets from him. He's probably pretty drunk at this point, so.
He does kind of like, as you stumbly take it, he's like, "It's crystal, it will break."
Right. oh, sorry.
Hold action, reaction, grab out of
Catch.
the...
Just in case, yeah, hold reaction catch. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna make a dexterity check just to see if I can hold on to this
Oh
thing.
god. Oh god.
Oh, it's really damn good, actually. That's like a 27.
Okay.
Nice.
He has no problem.
Yeah.
Why you gotta do that? Like, even risk it. Stop.
Because I'm drunk as fuck. Wait, disadvantage. It's still pretty good. It's like 20. I have really high dex. We're good.
I like the commitment though. I like it. I like
he's
it a lot.
drunk, man. He's drunk.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He takes it
It's
serious.
commitment to the RP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this might not be the greatest time, but
Oh, don't worry. I've got some questions that's really going to bring the mood down.
oh, well, hit it. Hey,
Yeah, can I try to play it? Is
Yeah.
that like I don't know if I'm proficient. No, lute, drum, and
You can still try to play
pan
it.
flute? But yeah, I'll try to play it.
It technically counts as a pan flute, I think. Right?
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give it a performance check at disadvantage, just for the fun of it. Natural 15, natural 11. Natural 11 is a 19 performance. Not bad.
Make an Arcana check.
I would love to. 15.
Okay.
That with disadvantage since I'm drunk? Probably.
Just
Yep.
take it.
Yep.
Just take it. Damn it.
Just
Still 15. We're
Okay.
good.
Hey.
You're good. You do feel as you start to plan it, it almost seems like a channeling device for your magic.
Another bard instrument. I've only had one that worked like this so far. He says out loud in a very drunken tone.
Gorick replies to you, "It's almost like you're meant to have it." And then I look at his father.
He looks a little disheartened.
Gives him the
Because
glare.
it's like,
Fucking dead ass staring him in the eye.
he does that thing where, like, it's kind of all he's had to hold on to, too.
Right,
But that's
right.
his kid, so he's not going to take it.
Do you have anything from your mother-in?
Still got that
wait,
old dagger.
Yeah, I do. And he's gonna pull out this bone dagger that he's been carrying, and you guys will have likely seen at some point throughout. The same one that he held just before we went to spy on those guys in the camp. And he said, "Yeah, this is something I got from." Well, Kester gave it to me because I didn't know my parents until now, but they left it with me, and it's great. I've been holding on to it ever since.
Can I make a? I wanted to get that other stuff out of the way before I did this.
What?
Can I make a sleight of hand?
Two.
Uh-oh. Versus my
Check.
perception. Hang on a second.
No. This is
Just a
Sriracha is one that was
As you
is
were
probably
leaving.
going to have made the check, and he's probably going to have to go back for this later. Perfect. It was a 7.
That is perfect.
What were you doing?
I am taking the gold and crystal disc that Rin was having me hold, and as I was walking out, had put it down.
Just on the counter or whatever.
Along with the cart clicker. I'm sorry.
The clicker.
Yeah.
It's dismantled right now.
No, that was just one thing that I needed to have
Dropped off.
placed on my way out.
Okay, so what are we doing now? Sorry, I kind of went left.
Well, as it stood, if you want to come back, we're going to be drinking still. So that's like it takes as much time as I'm going to keep drinking until you get back, just so you know.
You're gonna be drinking for a few hours, buddy.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's the Goric thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic. It's
Yeah, I don't have anything I'm doing else in town. I'm just heading back. Is Rin doing anything?
Oh, sorry, I missed something for a sec. Doing anything? No.
In particular, before
Nothing in
Sriracha
particular.
returns.
I'd say we're still just probably having a jaunt of some kind.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So Sriracha, hours and hours after contemplating's pass, I'm sure you don your armor back and you walk
Yeah.
back to the shop. The streets are more empty. You do see guards and the occasional night worker walking past, but it's mostly quiet. It's very almost chilled air. Lamps are lit.
No, nothing that might seem culty.
Nothing that seems culty.
All right,
And
that's
you
good.
do have this, even though everything's been so heavy, there's this sort of part of you that wants to feel light and proud in this moment. But you can fight that or embrace it as your choice.
Probably embrace it. Need that right now.
So
Okay.
you make it back to Kester's, and as you walk in, give me a perception check.
11.
So you see that Ramsey left the disc and crystal on the counter as he left.
I'm I'm gonna put that in my bag for now.
Give me an insight check.
Natural 20.
If Ramsey left that, he's probably not coming back. Right?
Kind of figured. That's why I just put it in my bag.
So if you walk back into the kitchen, you can hear
It's probably pretty loud in there.
the boys are playing music. You hear Osara's voice from the other
Probably a
room.
little jarring.
Mastermind stuff.
No.
Um,
It breaks though at this point. It's like
Every now and then it's Osara, and every now and then it's high pitched Goric.
yeah, just like really hill people.
Oh,
Fucking
he entered the room at this point.
I will now.
yeah.
Sunshine!
Oh,
Uh,
oh,
hello.
Welcome back, buddy.
How's it? How you guys been? I'm sorry I disappeared for a while. I
Well,
had some stuff to take care of.
you know.
we've been celebrating the times that we've had till now.
Where's my bottle?
Right here.
Right here.
I was about to
Wait
say,
a second.
almost in unison, all four of them
Raven's
hold
voice.
up a bottle.
I would take one, and I don't mean to kill the mood, but I got something to do real quick. And I'm gonna hand Victor the dagger that I carry with me. Or sorry, I'm gonna hand Gorek the dagger that I carry with me, and hand Rin a gold coin. Just be like, you guys are family now. I'll see this through to the end.
That's a wholesome long con he just did there. Told Lathander to keep his family safe. I don't know that though. Yeah, I happily accept that coin. If you hand it to me and it's not face up, he will turn it face up.
Oh, it's face up.
And accept it from you, just in case. But yeah.
So sorry.
Oh, feel free. Feel free.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to
He's
cut
just
you
taking
off.
the coin. No, you're good.
I heard ending. Gork will take the dagger and put a small incision in the palm of his right hand and hold the dagger out to you and hold your hand out to shake.
I'll do the same thing, actually.
I'll take his hand. It's a covenant, I hope my Lathander wouldn't mind. It's a covenant of blood for declaring your brothers. You are obviously both very dear to me. A family, I couldn't ask for better. I'd be honored to call you Sriracha, or Ben. I'd be honored to call you Ben, and you Rin, my family, till the end of days.
Aye.
And then,
And then I'm gonna drink.
as you guys, after that's finished, Karnan kind of slumps forward a little bit. He's a little buzzed. He's not really drunk, and he takes another swig, and he's kind of staring at the floor. And he says, "If I could go back, I would never do it again. But if I never left, you never would have met them. And they seem like good people to have around." And like he's still staring at the floor, but he kind of raises his bottle out in like a toast.
It is met.
I would actually probably try and pick his head up and then toast him.
He'll do that. Like if you reassure him, he'll like lift up.
Just sorry I punched you earlier.
I deserved it.
It was a good hit, he says drunkenly.
I would have paid to see that. This guy has a fist on him.
Go into a story about how the first time we met, I punched a wall and cracked the stone brick. My bad. No, man.
Anytime we have an enemy made of stone, I know who I'm calling.
Now, I know we said we go long tonight, but this
Might
does
be a
seem like a good
Wholesome
Natural.
moment to end on. Yeah, that's a
natural moment to end
very
it.
wholesome moment.
And next week we'll pick up in the morning.
I think we will.
I could do the RP that we talked about now because I was waiting for everyone to get back.
Oh yes.
Seeing as
If
that
you
he
wanna,
left.
if you wanna tell them the story about what happened.
You guys down?
Yeah.
While we're around this table, absolutely. I'll raise a glass to that. You're still here. You made it. That's important. I want to know the story about it.
All right. Well, I left you guys to do well. You've accomplished certainly more than I have. But anyway.
So real quick, Rin has his full attention on you, but he's gonna mage hand a pen to start writing down what you're saying while you're going about it, just so he can have
Keep
it
track.
Yeah, but his full attention is on you. He's not doing anything with his hands or whatever.
Subconsciously, it's like blah blah blah. I'm
Yeah.
Gorik Hilson.
Hilson. Yeah.
Well, I'll cut out the unfun bits. You know that I went down with the Ranger's brother-in-law and to find my love. Oh, it's hard to say. Well,
In an accent.
No, because I'm drunk. Well, I found it. We found her, I should say, and escorted her to Hazelborough. And well, this is the screen doing the fade to
the flashback.
Oh yes. Okay.
So
Are you,
I would.
Yeah. Let me know when you're picking up where you guys are.
We are approaching her.
Okay. Still at the Ranger's hut?
Yes.
Okay. So you ride up with the brother-in-law Ranger. As you approach the hut, the Ranger is outside, and as he sees the cart come up and he sees you guys coming in, makes contact with you, he takes one of his canes and knocks the door 3 times, and almost like explosively, Amber throws the door open. That jarred, rickety door that you've seen is almost impossible to open. She just slams it open and kind of hops out and excitedly runs to the cart and says, they said they were coming to get you and that you were going to help me get there. I got kind of lost.
Come here, you. And then I go up to give her a big hug if she looks like it.
Yeah, she won't reject a hug. She kind of has to like stoop down, but she's like 5'9", so.
I have a confession to make, Amber.
And she hasn't pulled away from the hug yet. She's kind of just like shifted so she can see you while you're talking.
I found out that your father was not indeed your father.
She does like kind of break eye contact. Like, yeah.
Well, I know about the selling of your contracts, or as it were, a contract. I might have done a little something out of character. Maybe some would call it drastic, even.
We're going away, so that doesn't matter anymore.
Well, suffice it to say that your old father will have no will to be following you around. Or much of anything, to be honest. He's alive.
She like
probably
sheepishly says it. She's like, he already got paid, so he probably won't follow after me.
That leads me to the next thing. This blacksmith that was apparently owed, quote unquote, even though it's completely illegal. Anyway,
she like gets a little fidgety and she looks a little nervous. She's like, yeah, that's why they said they'd take me south and that they knew you, so I waited. I figured that was safer.
You're right. You're very right. And here's the thing. I can't abide by you traveling the world like you are, and all the things that have happened to you. I've realized that you need maybe someone at your side, or at least someone batting for you. Oh shit, batting for you. Anyway,
you have your stick.
I do. Or axing, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I get up on it. Oh, she didn't say something.
Oh, well, like, as you, like, say, like, you need somebody by your side, someone batting for you, she's gonna be like, well, you're not always here, but you're always in my corner. And she'll, like, tap your shoulder.
Perfect. I'm gonna hop on the table. And well, I will always be there for you. Maybe not physically, but you know my will and my power are. And I'd like.
You've got stuff to do. I know that.
Aye, that I do. I'd like to be the one for you. I'd like to be the one, your shield. Would you do me the honor of joining with me as a husband and wife?
And then she
And I'm on my
just
knee.
squeals. She's just full of squeals.
You're
And-
bored out and married out here. Crazy.
She picks you up and swings you with ease.
Oh yeah, I have bad experience with that. Hold on.
No, it's like when they like a hug.
Yeah. Okay.
But not just like she like hugs you and swings you.
And-
Well, she's
and I
happy.
You grab the camera and like swing around. Whee!
I'm
I
on a
take-
cord. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I take the geode
No.
that I was given, and I show it to her, and I say, "It's an unassuming rock, you would imagine, eh?"
She like looks confused and she's like the eggs you brought. They don't have birds. They have dragons.
Yes, keep that down. Remember. Anyway,
She like looks at the rangers that have been talking to her about it the whole time.
craggy, I know on the outside, but and then I crack it open with whatever fucking tool I need. It doesn't matter. I have plenty. And I show her the inside, and I say, "But beautiful on the inside."
Yeah, as you smash open the geode, it's got like crystallized purple quartz on the inside.
I'd like. Can they be red? Can it be red?
They can be
Quartz? Okay, thank you. I'd like to give you this as a token of our union. Sounds wrong. A token of our marriage and my esteem. Would you carry it with you, and I'll carry the other half.
She takes the rock and she reaches and she digs through one of her pouches and she hands you back a gold coin. It's the lucky one that Ring gave me, and you can carry it with you. And then she just goes to take your hand and get on the cart. Like this is just what's going on now. Because she's a little.
She was so ready for it anyway.
That's what she wanted.
I will absolutely take her hand and covet her touch and her love like nothing I have ever coveted before. Could be a fucking chest full of 10,000 gold,
Just
and
not
it still
compared
would
to
not
Amber.
fill me with the same wholeness and feeling that
Attaboy.
her simple touch does.
Boy.
And I say, I will. Well, I must be honest. It's a weight off my shoulders to have done that. I was thinking about it on the way here. I'm so happy that you've decided to try to spend your life with me, as I will with you.
She looks down as she's walking towards the cart because she doesn't understand like the blacksmith is out here and looking for her and then you guys need to go. But she's like she takes as you're walking down, she looks down and she's just like, "Did you think there was a second I would say no?"
No, to be honest, but it's still a. Oh, stop it, you. What we'll do is I'll take you to my ancestral home in Fizzleborough, and you'll be safe there. It's built like a fortress. I designed it, well, part of it at least, to make sure that you'll safe. We have defenses being erected from some money that I sent back. It'll be the safest place for you. No blacksmith or blacksmith's son will be able to get at you. My fa will take great care of you while I take care of the things I need to do.
She starts going on tangents. She's like, "Oh, that's right. I get to meet your dad, and I'll live in your house. And then while you're gone, I'll get to do the decorating, and you can't say anything about it because you're not there. But don't worry, I'll work in the bar to pay for it." And she just like starts rambling.
You can work where you please, and you can do as you please. As far as I'm concerned, you can do whatever you want. You're the apple of my eye.
She like stops for a second, just like for a second, and Liz like, "I wonder how tall our kids will be," and like keeps walking. She's like
Dork's
everywhere
floored.
else.
Like, he walks away and he's like, Oh, that's what that means.
No,
That's
she
right.
was still like pulling your hand. She's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
walking
or-
with you.
Will, let's have a proper ceremony before my father's quite a stickler. But, well, you know what? Above board. Should we get married now?
Above board, you probably don't have time to have a proper ceremony.
That's okay. I wasn't even thinking of a proper ceremony. Still not going to. Next time I'm in town into Fizzleboro, we'll have a proper ceremony. My dog can officiate. I'd love nothing more than to be married to you in the town that means so much to me. Your new home, in fact.
She starts going through plans and like rambling on about that gives her time to make her dress and she gets to find out what flowers are in season. And then like as you're walking back, she just starts saying like Amber Hilson. That sounds okay. And then like repeating what she envisions her new name as.
Oh my god, my heart.
You let me know when you're done.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, now is the time that we're going to get back on the cart and sitting side by side with my arm around her ish. I'm tiny.
Somewhere there, yeah. Maybe like on her
enjoying-
thigh or something.
Enjoying the trip, remaining vigilant,
Yeah.
but very much enjoying.
She is not. She's rambling the whole time.
Not supposed to. It's fine. I'm
Yeah.
remaining vigilant though.
Yeah.
And then we travel, and that is we travel to Fizzleboro. Oh,
Oh.
yeah. I don't really want to do the RP, but I would at least talk to my father. And
Don't make me do that tonight. You can recant that another time for the.
yeah, that's
guys.
fine. That's where I'll end the story. That's perfect. Yeah. So that.
We're back.
So yeah, your man is in fact engaged.
Wow. There's really a lot to take in this room right now. You guys realize how much has happened? Like
Means we
like
get to
2
throw
weeks
a party.
ago. It was, I mean, you know.
You'd
before-
like the halfling weddings.
Now there's like 6 of us here. This is crazy.
Well, with the world potentially ending, cultists at every doorstep, it seems. Time is it? I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, so I need to make sure that everything that needs done gets done. And marrying her sure is one of the things that I need to do. Ever since I first met her in that bar, she caught my eye, but more so, she caught my heart.
Yeah. As long as I'm alive, the world's not going to end.
You see
That's a
Carnan
double from me.
lifts his bottle. Sorry. Kester does it too.
Yeah.
Everybody like with that statement was just like,
Yeah, not really words for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a silent toast and a quaff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where the fuck are we sleeping tonight?
There's lots of like stuffed animals and stuff. We'll be fine.
I call the one with the long neck that looks like a cow.
Rin, you know that there is a guest bedroom and your room.
Sure, I'm
Are
just too
here.
drunk. There's a lot of stuffed animals down here.
What, a horse? Yeah, it's a horse with a long neck. That's what it is.
Kester, who hasn't been drinking too heavily, they're kind of remaining a little in their head. Kind of gestures up the stairs and he's like, "There's a guest room up there. There's only one bed, but it's kind of big. You could probably double up."
Oh, Gora, come on.
All right, big boy.
Rin, you know where your bed is.
Remember, don't get handsy. I'm just getting married.
I don't see a ring.
Toot new.
And Rin, if you're going up to bed, Karnan's gonna he'll go to stop you just for a second, and he'll dead in the eyes and look at you and be like, "I'm gonna be down here all night, and I will be here in the morning.
Oof.
I love you. Go to sleep."
he's
Car-
not there in the morning, I'm killing him the next time I see him.
Kester's gonna help you up the stairs.
Yeah.
No,
I appreciate that,
he's
brother.
staying downstairs in the kitchen. As you go to leave, you see him pull out some journals and start like going through his notes and stuff like that.
I tip my hat to that as I leave. My
Your-
proverbial hat.
Yeah, your hood.
Yeah. I am stoked to be back in bed.
Yeah.
That's what we can leave on. Yeah.
All right, so that's what we're gonna call it tonight.
Mhm.
We did expect to have a very long episode, but that was a lot of heavy emotions all
It
at
sure
once. So
was.
I think we're gonna call it there, and we'll deal with all the technical shit in the morning tomorrow. Or
Right.
not
Next
next
week.
And
week.
it's not next
No,
Friday.
we will
it is
fuck.
not next week.
TwitchCon.
We are doing
Week after.
TwitchCon.
Yeah.
So next week there will not be a show. I hope to be updating quite a bit to my Twitter and Instagram about what I'm doing and where I am. I will be posting meetup spots that I'll be at. If you are at TwitchCon, you can come and say hi to me. You can come and say hi to. We're just gonna say Roland.
Roland,
'cause-
My name is Roland.
I know, but Ramsey just left. So
Right. Ramsey took off.
Yes.
for those of
but
you
I will
in the
be-
audience, I do want some transparency so that it's not confusing when you come back.
Oh.
Ramsey, right? Right? Is that okay to do that announcement?
I would not say yet.
Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna shut my mouth. Let's do sign-offs.
Ramsey's gone.
I
Okay,
am
sign-offs.
Austin or
Bye.
Doomsfish or Sriracha. You can find me on Twitter at fish_doom. I just started streaming again. I didn't stream any at all this week because I'm a garbage person, but I should be streaming next week. Hopefully soon I'll be back to playing spooky games, and I'm going to make that a little more interesting. So stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Spoopy
What?
Saturdays. Again, Roland, Red or Roadbook, you can catch me on all those places, on all the social medias. I will be at TwitchCon playing characters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of
And
characters.
don't worry, I'm not gone. Let's just say that.
Yeah. That's a good place to leave it at. He is not
But,
out of here. We all still love him.
Rolling characters and playing characters at TwitchCon. If you see me there, come up say hi or pull me into a game if I'm not already playing a game. If you're going to be in the D&D room, the tabletop gaming room, they're going to be doing. So
That's exciting.
Go to Kielson, Salty Captain K, Salty Captain Chaos in various forms of media. I'm not active mostly because schedule-wise it's just shitty. I need to be more so. But come on in. Everyone who's watching or watching the VODs, we'd love to have you live. I understand life gets in the way of seeing live performances and such, but just thank you so much to all the people who watch us and all that might be interested. Come on in.
Yeah.
I think
My
it's-
sign-offs are easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my sign-offs are easy. My name is Skylar. That's it. I play a troubled kid, and I really enjoy it. This week, I think I'm Heartwarmed Weekly is my username instead of whatever I said last week.
Sad boy
Traumatized
hours.
Weekly. Something like
Heartwarmed
that.
Weekly. I like it.
Instead of traumatized weekly, I'm Heartwarmed Weekly this time. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. If you guys like what we do, then I'd appreciate giving the channel a follow. We will be here every Friday at 7. I don't know why I was confused when I said that because it's never changed. But
Except for next week.
except for next week, I suppose. So every Friday except for next Friday.
If we're ever not going to be here, we do announce it. So
Yeah,
typically
we will let you know.
be here.
I am eager to explore this story some more.
So, Katie Sue, if you're here, you've probably already followed, so you know how to find me on here. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. That way you can be here next time. I have all of the episodes up to date on YouTube. If you caught the end of this episode, thought it was weird, didn't know what was going on, wanted to catch up on that, all 15 previous episodes are now on YouTube, and I will be rendering this one immediately after stream because I've been super horrible about posting them on Saturday, but I'm going to try and get into a better habit of posting these on Saturday. Other than that, it's KatieSue_TW on Twitter, IG on Instagram. I will be trying to post more progress shots. You can kind of see in the shot I have my current cosplay that I'm working on for Monster Hunter. I will be wearing that at TwitchCon. It will be hot and I will be complaining. So please come by and say hi and make me feel better.
That's cosplay culture right there. I
Yes,
feel
it
like.
is. So, all right. Well, we love you guys, and thank you guys for being here. I'm going to switch to the intro screen for editing purposes, and I've been saying that a lot lately, and I apologize, but that's where it's at. We'll see you next time for plans on infiltrating the castle.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.